Hey everybody, talking about WandaVision with chat at the end of our Mortal Kombat stream. It's been a fun week full of Mortal Kombat action, but we've all been waiting to figure out what the heck is going on in this show. And we have a number of answers that have happened in this episode, but I can't help the feeling of wanting more and struggling with the expectations, staying away from rumors or leaks, but still having my own speculation and thoughts and conversations with friends of mine via text on what's going to happen in the show, what characters are going to introduce, how the mutants are going to be a part of this. And thinking of the history of comics where Scarlet Witch, the House of M comic series, says no more mutants, and the mutants are taken out of existence for part of the narrative thread, and how this could be the reverse, where she creates mutants in this universe. There's one idea speculation that we have. The other is introducing a bad person, a villain, and how this villain would be either used in a one-off series with WandaVision or catapulted further into a villain that Doctor Strange would tangle with. And Agatha Harkness, again, this is full of spoilers. Agatha Harkness is the villain revealed. But is she the ultimate villain? What's with the book? Is Mephisto or Sleepwalker somebody involved? Oh, thanks again, dude, for the donation. Dig it. I love it. Thank you, Doc Soldier. The expectations of the whole community around this show and around Marvel has created this mythos. And within that mythos, we have this expectation, or we wonder, will we see these characters? Will it play out this certain way? And Kevin Feige, if we look at his track record, he keeps things related to the comics, but he makes it digestible. And if you have 2 or 3 villains, it could get a little bit bogged down. And Agatha has proven to be pretty powerful so far, at least with the opening sequence of today's episode with the Salem witches. And I liked the subversion, where you thought she was going to be, burned at the stake by the village, the people there, the village people, the people of the village. YMCA, why are you a witch? It was a coven, and she was being judged, and I wonder what information she received. And I think it has to do possibly with unlocking an ancient being. This is conjecture on my part. This is hype theory. She either made a deal or unlocked a being and it inhabited her, or she's tied with it, and that's where the bunny is attached to what this is. And perhaps they're looking for the spell to make him return to his full form, or no idea. And also I liked the Piator, the fake Piator. And Agatha says, she used him as his eyes and ears, but she couldn't bring somebody back from the dead. Okay, but she had to use this person as eyes and ears, so she didn't just conjure up a person. It's more of what Wanda has done. Except for Vision. Vision seems to be conjured. Anyways, going into the depth of Wanda and the heartbreak. Now this is where I started to get emotional when I watched it, is you could feel the heartbreak and that everything was taken from her. So much bad had happened to her. That in the moment where the house was just a lot, and there's more to it than that. Throughout her entire life of just so much disappointment and heartbreak and sorrow. And when she was driving into the city, into the town, and the town was run down and people seemed lonely, it was just the outward manifestation of everything that she felt. And there's been moments in my life when I look around and I just feel my feelings that much more strongly, because you can see the thematic things happening, or like, you're walking downtown and people are having a rough day, like, damn, it sucks, if you have some sort of empathy. But if she could feel that and see that and feel it as what she's going through. It just broke her, you know? It would break anybody when she broke down. But that power manifested itself into creating a new reality. And Agatha, this is why it answers a lot of the questions with Agatha, is trying to figure out, what is it that you can do? How are you able to do this? Magic on autopilot. And Agatha is the seeker of knowledge. She wants to gain as much knowledge and power as possible, it seems, and try to figure out how Wanda can do this. Now, we all thought it's because of the experimentation with Infinity Stone. And yeah, that seems to be the case, but her interaction with the Infinity Stone and her ability, it seems, to use a hex to stop the bomb as a kid, I thought that was a neat twist. I thought, okay, is this how they're going to introduce the mutants? And that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be that this is how they're introducing witches, where Blade will introduce vampires and whatever Morbius is going to be, but that's more Sony. It seems there's like a lot of red herrings that have happened throughout the episodes, or we're going to have a couple twists in this final episode. But all of this is gaining traction to go towards something larger, which Max Vex PC says in the chat is Doctor Strange. It's going to be Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange. That's what this is going to blow up to. But do you see those characters going up against just Agatha Harkness alone? No. Do you see them teaming up against Agatha Harkness and Wanda, if Wanda's being corrupted? Yes. But Agatha had to gain this power from some form of corruption more powerful than she, more powerful than her. And therefore, I feel we as a collective audience want to see that power revealed, because Thanos was such a threat. Thanos was such an event that whatever this dormant threat has been unlocked, or at least has been sought after, must be something pretty impactful. And I do wonder if the Eternals or something will be able to explain this better, or I don't know, outside of her being a mutant, whatever she is, a witch, or being able to have this power, born with it, and how the Infinity Stone, I believe, is a Mind Stone, reacted to her, but she had the vision. She had the vision of her as Scarlet Witch, and I thought, oh, WandaVision is more than just her together. It's the vision Wanda had of her as the Scarlet Witch. And now that we're seeing the patterns and what they're trying to place, I felt those scenes were beautiful. And also, the reason why I think the whole collective Earth is invested in all these characters, even after such a long amount of time in different movies, are the quiet moments, especially the beautiful moment that Vision and Wanda had together. Yeah, about grief. It's just, you could feel the special connection that they had, and that's why it's so heartbreaking for what she lost at the end of Endgame. So that's the magical forces. That's the bigger mystery of what's happening with Wanda, and the power she had before being exposed to the stones is pretty fascinating. But also, Hayward's a liar. The guy that's in charge of the SHIELD operation, he lied. He said Wanda came in and stormed out with all of it. No, she came in to say goodbye to him. But it was haunting when you saw them taking pieces apart of Vision, and to see it from Wanda's perspective. And I thought, this is horror. This is horrible. But this is straight up horror. But yeah, this episode was so impactful because this really landed home the heartbreak of Wanda. But it's just weird because, okay, so Agatha was behind it all along. Well, no, she's not that powerful. She's trying to figure out what's going on, but she's been behind the manipulation, watching the neighbors, talking to the neighbors, figuring out who the outside person was. Monica Rambeau at first. So, just the small things being pieced together in the mystery of what's happening. But now we're all waiting with bated breath for the final episode to deliver. And And it's tough. It's tough because I think so much is riding on what's happening here. But Hayward being the bad guy on the science side, you have a magic side and a science side. The two different sides of the two different villains. They're going to be the main villains of the final episode. So I don't see any other characters. I don't see a Mephisto or a Sleepwalker or any other characters being introduced as the final boss they're going to fight, but being introduced as maybe the power behind this manipulation. And Doctor Strange is like, oh no, you interacted with him? Oh no! You know, and then Spider-Man 3 showcases who this villain is, and then Doctor Strange is able to take him out. Maybe. But let me read your chat, folks. It just, there were so many good parts. Hello, Mortal Kombat 11 position. We're talking about WandaVision to close out the stream. So, spoilers. There's just so many good parts of the acting. The acting is so beautiful, but I wonder if they built up so much hype around it and it doesn't pay off. Or the payoff happens in the movies and people are like, man, it's already been a slow burn. But what's funny about the attitude that we have right now is if it's such a payoff next week, then we'll be like, dude, this was incredible, oh my god. But if it's a bummer, it still will be it still was fun. This was fun to go back and have this generational nod to previous television experiences as Disney Plus is entering the new frontier of streaming, as we all are. So there's so much meta. There's so much meta in this. And that's why to me it's always going to be a piece of art. It's not only what it is, but when it came out, when it's released. But the wonderful acting, in this series has been very impressive. Whew. Hayward. Why is Hayward lying? I mean, are they just so focused on having this available weapon because of fear? You know, the American military-industrial complex. Our citizens are dying while we're off fighting all these wars, or just like Rome, or other times. And it's because of fear. That's what drives the motivator. And so is Sword capturing all the resources of this vibranium with Vision, creating this alternate Vision, who's like a soulless version of Vision, and that's what's going to be the ultimate bad guy on the science side, is a soulless Vision versus Agatha, or those are the two pinnacles of the bad guys. But then you think, who's pulling the strings behind Hayward, right? So somebody's pulling the strings on the magical side, somebody's pulling the strings on the scientific side. Bigger powers at work. Man, I just wonder if some of these people can get some rest. Like, no, you're not going to get any rest. You got a contract and a multi-picture deal. There's no rest for you. But that's what Wanda and Vision deserve, along with a lot of these other characters, is a reprieve. But they're not going to get it. That's what Captain America deserved, or that's what Captain America wanted. That's what he got. All right, everybody. Well, there definitely is some more mystery left in the show for the final episode. I'm wrestling with my expectations, the hype around it, built either on a healthy scale or unhealthy scale, and will the show deliver? And then once all the dust settles, we can judge it for what it is, as one complete whole narrative, and if it'll stand up to being the best, some of the best that Marvel had to offer, or something that was fun, but we need to get back to the bigger stuff. Or when's Falcon and Winter Soldier, what if entering the Hex 4 people get powers like Fantastic Four, Master Vex says? I mean, yeah, that's kind of what we all thought this Hex was going to introduce mutants, at least, but that may not be the case. We don't know. You know what we all hope happens for the final episode is that the final episode is an hour or 2 hours. It was nice that this one was over 40 minutes, but still, yeah, it's You know, you're going to think, oh, we had all this time, and then some of it was spent with just Vision and an ice cream truck, you know? Where you have all these actors, you have all this story, this crew. Could we have spent it doing something different? And that's a very harsh criticism, because Vision in the ice cream truck, the whole scenario is just an homage to Office and Parks and Rec and Modern Family, that type of documentary, faux documentary style comedy, which was invented or at least embraced by the culture at the time because it was a mockery or parody of reality shows, which were huge at the turn of the millennium in the early 2000s. So it's also the collective zeitgeist of humanity dealing with their trauma through entertainment, and how Wanda was doing it as a Sokovian girl with her family, and how we do it through playing video games or watching TV shows, or hell, even watching WandaVision as a collective event and seeing what everybody thinks and what they think is going to happen. So outside of the quality of the story, which we're all hoping is going to be amazing, this is a testing ground for Disney to see if this type of delivery is going to work with Marvel. And already, just based off of the acting alone, it will. So here we go. We have one more week to go, one more episode to go. Final thoughts in the chat. Mutants are usually born with power, but Inhumans got their power from something. A movie coming up in the future is Inhumans. Yeah, mutants are born with it, right? But then it seems that Scarlet Witch was born with whatever power she had. A baby witch, as Agatha calls it. Cool. All right, chat. Well, thank you so much to everybody tuning in to the end of this Mortal Kombat stream, but talking about WandaVision. I'll upload this clip on my channel. I am live Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, 8 to noon to the moon with Mortal Kombat gameplay. This upcoming week, however, is the end of the season, so I may take a day or two off or do some testing with some different stream elements. But also mark your calendars, April 20th, 420 Digital Festival. The 420 Digital Festival, Music Munchies and Mortal Kombat. I have 4 players, 4 artists, and we're gonna have some chefs, some recipes, and just have fun for 4 hours, special guests, etc. So mark your calendars for that. As always, it's a pleasure to see you. Thank you for helping me grow this channel. Press that like button if you can. Subscribe if you got $1 or $2. Cash App, Venmo, Patreon, Mr. Joshua Gray. I will see you online.